I'm here at the overseas call centre of a large insurance company. With me is customer service team leader Mr. Bolte. Mr. Bolte, how easy is it to provide great insurance service to your customers?
Well, we're on another continent. You can never get through. We've no idea who you are, and we're only allowed to work from a script with the information on the screen in front of us. Frankly, you'd be better with High House.
High House Insurance, your local experts. High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. For a free, no-obligation quote, call Chelsea 606 552. High House, local, reliable insurance. High Street, Chelsea.
Yes, welcome back to the station that cares, Manhood Internet Radio. And as usual, we start the programme off with our weekly look at what's on in and around the area during the coming week. On Monday the 11th of April, there's Tai Chi Che classes starting again down at the Chelsea Centre. And if you want to find out more information about that, or what it's all about, well, a little bit later in the programme I should be talking to the lady that runs it. And that's Tracy Gibbons. So have a listen into that and you can find out what it's about and you can get all the information you need as well. Now also on a Monday, why not pop along to the Seal and take advantage of their half-price burger night. I mean, they have their normal menu on, but they do a half-price burger night on a Monday, and of course they got their Monday night pool competition. So if you're a bit of a whiz on the table, well, you can have a game of pool as well. Well, on Tuesday the 12th of April, there's a celebration service of dedication at St Peter's Church, and that starts at 7 p.m. And if you're looking to burn off some of the kids' energy, then why not take them along to Arrow Fitness Kickboxing and let them help you. They've kickboxing classes for 4 to 6 year olds, 6 to 12 year olds and 13 year olds to adults. And you can go along there and try 1 week free of unlimited classes, and this offer only applies to new students. You can find out about class times and locations if you have a look at their website, which is www.arrowfitnesskickboxing.com, and that's arrowfitnesskickboxing.com, and go along there and join them. And they're on every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Now on Wednesday the 13th of April, Chelsea WI have their meeting at 2:15 at the Town Hall, and the speaker is novelist Julie Round, and she'll be telling you about My Life and Works. On Thursday the 14th of April, well, Dracula's down at the Chelsea Centre. Yes, it's blood donation time, so you can go down there and the blood donation service will be there and they'll be happy to take a drop from you. And that's from 2 p.m. until 7:45 p.m. And also on Thursday, it's open mic night at the Seal, and that starts at 9 p.m. So if you can't be bothered to go on X Factor, go along to the Seal instead, and you see some talent along there. Just take your guitar or any other instrument, or only your voice if you want, and go along to the Seals open mic night. Now on Friday nights, for something different, if you fancy something to eat, why not go along to the Links restaurant at the golf club, at Chelsea Golf Club. They have a set menu on a Friday night and there's some lovely stuff on there. There's starters, there's roast top side of beef and roast potatoes, there was liver and bacon and mash and onion gravy, ham, egg and chips, breaded scampi, chips and peas, marinated chicken, all sorts of stuff there. And it's a fixed menu for a Friday night, and it's $12.95 for 2 courses and $15.95 for 3 courses, so that's well worth having. Go along there, and if you'd like to book up for that, or if you want more information, you can phone Julie Conabar on 608 938 or 07947 156 267. Now on Saturday the 16th of April is ladies' breakfast at East Beach Evangelical Church. That's a bit sexist, not letting the men have the breakfast, and that starts at 8:45. And there's Landscapes in Watercolour, a follow-up workshop with well-known artist Max Hale, and that's from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. at the Chelsea Centre, and that's cost for that is £25, and that's an Art Stream event, so you can pop along and support Art Stream there. And there's an open day at Crablands Bowls and Tennis Club, so you can go along and try your hand at outdoor green bowls from 10 a.m. or indoor short mat bowls from 1 until 4. And all you need is a pair of flat shoes or trainers and a sense of fun. So you can pop along there and try a hand at that. There's also on Saturday, Selsey Community Gala Awards evening at the Selsey Centre. And at the British Legion, well, at the British Legion Club, they've got live music from 6:30 p.m. with Freeway. And on Sunday the 17th of April, down at the Pagham Harbour Visitor Centre, there's a wildlife photography workshop. And booking for this is essential. This is an all-day practical workshop, focuses on techniques to improve your wildlife photography, including macro photography, and it combines theory with opportunities to practice what you learn on a beautiful reserve as it bursts into life in springtime. And prices for that are £18 per person or £12 if you're an RSPB member. And that's from 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. And that's it for this week for Selsey area. It's just a little dip in the ocean really to all the stuff that's going on, but it'll give you a taster of what's about for your enjoyment and education. And now we go across to Bracklesham and the Witterings, because that's a place that I've got information on. And we go to the Bracklesham Barn. And now on Mondays at Bracklesham Barn in the main hall from 10 a.m. till 12:30, they've got short mat bowls. And in the community room from 9:30 till 11:30 a.m, they've got Duckling's parent and toddler group. And then in the evenings from 7 till 8:30 p.m, yoga with Elaine. On Tuesdays in the main hall from 9:15 until 12:15, you've got the table tennis club drop-in, and that's £2 adults only, and you can go and tire yourself out playing table tennis. And in the community room from 10 a.m. till 11 a.m, they've got yoga with Elaine. And in the evening in the main hall, from 7:30 until 9:30, they've got the badminton club. And from 7:30 until 8:30 in the community room, they've got Pilates with FitJoy. On Wednesdays in the main hall from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m, well, that's vacant at the moment, so if you want to start up an activity, get along there and do it. From 1 p.m. to 2 p.m, there's my old favourite, belly dancing with Step Inside Limited. And from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m, in the community room, I'm not quite sure how they do this, is motorcycle training, but you need to pre-book that. And then from 11 till 12 p.m, also in the community room, there's Gyrokinesis with Jen. And back to the main hall, from 6:30 until 7:30 in the evening, there's Zumba with Louise. And from 8 until 9, there's Sweat Zone exercise class, and that's £2. On Thursdays, from 9:15 until 12:15 in the main hall, there's Busy Bugs Toddler Gym, and in the community room from 2 until 4 p.m, the Thursday group, and that's only on the first Thursday of the month, and from 4:30 until 5:30, the Kids Art group with Anita. And of course on the first Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. in the main hall, they've got Seen It, which is the community cinema. On Fridays from 9:15 until 10:15 in the main hall, we've got Vinyasa Flow Yoga with Lou, and from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m, you've got short mat bowls. And of course on Sundays from 10:15 until 12:15, you've got the Windrush Church meeting. Now, there is one item in East Wittering that I must mention, and that's on Saturday, and it's the craft market. And that's on from 10:30 until 3:30 at East Wittering Village Hall, and it's free entry. There's loads of stuff on sale, some very clever crafters along there, so pop along to support them and have a look around and treat yourself. And also coming up this following weekend on the 17th, the Appledram Centre are holding a cake and coffee morning, or coffee and cake morning, whichever way round you like, and that's in aid of Chestnut Tree House, which of course is the children's hospice care. That's on the 17th of April from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m, and the Acquired Choir will be there, and I'm not quite sure what that is, but I did hear that Bobby Barnes will also be along there to entertain you, so pop along and support Appledram Centre in their effort to raise money for Chestnut Tree House, a very, very worthwhile cause. And that's it for What's On for this week. Hi, in the studio with me now, I've got one of the most serene people I think I've ever come across. I've got Tracy Gibbons, and Tracy runs Tai Chi Che classes. Right. I had to get it right because I knew she was going to tell me off. And she runs Tai Chi Che classes at the Selsey Centre.
And it obviously works, because she's sitting there as cool as a cucumber, not phased at all by being on Manhood Internet Radio, and most people get a little bit nervous normally when they do come on. Good morning, Tracy.
Morning, Keith.
And how are you feeling? Are you
Yes,
okay?
I'm fine. Yeah, I haven't done radio before, but
You're coping rather well,
Thank
I
you.
have to say. Now, tell us, Tracy, about Tai Chi Che. And it's taken me a long time to get that right, as simple as it may seem. It obviously varies from other forms of Tai Chi, of which I know nothing. So could you explain the difference between some of these different forms of Tai Chi?
Yeah, sure. So Tai Chi Che is a moving meditation. Most people in this country learn Tai Chi Chuan, which is a martial art, a very slow version, but it's all basically about Qigong, which people have heard about, which is moving energy. So it's, as I say, it's different because it's a meditation. It's easier to learn because we've only got 19 movements and one pose, as opposed to, I think it's about 108 movements in Tai Chi Chuan, and it takes about a year to learn. Whereas with this, you can learn it in 10 weeks. And people can come along, as my class do. They come back and keep coming, a bit like a yoga class. They'll come along, and they just like the practice and the discipline, and also we just like getting together and practicing all together. Sometimes new people come in and go, and sometimes we just kind of build the clan a bit, and we've got some people that keep coming. So
well, I don't know if you know or not, but my wife attends one of your classes. And,
she does, yeah.
when
She's
I
very good too.
see her like a praying mantis walking around the lounge. And I know not to say anything and not to interrupt the flow.
No.
But I think, from what she says, attending the class and being part of a group of people doing the same thing makes it easier to reach a sort of meditative state.
Yeah.
If you're doing it in your own front room, it's a little bit different. If your husband's taking the mickey out of you,
Yeah, it
or
doesn't
the phone
help.
rings or something like that, it doesn't quite have that feel about it. And I know she swears by it. She says, feel my hands, how warm they are with the energy and the, okay, yes, grasshopper. But she really enjoys it, and she really enjoys that sort of that state that you reach.
Yes.
That sort of peaceful state, I think, is best described as. Now it's obviously good for the mind, and would you say it was good for the body as well? Because most people that attend it seem to be able to control their movements better. They seem to be in a step forward is a definite step forward, as opposed to just putting one foot in front of the other. They seem to do what they're doing with a purpose, as opposed to...
Definitely. I think it's the practice of Tai Chi Che, if you do practice, of course, is that the benefits are that people feel very relaxed. They often feel the benefits physically as well. So the movements are done with purpose. I think these days everyone hears about mindfulness. That's quite the big thing at the moment. And obviously everything you can do can be mindful. And when we're doing our Tai Chi Che practice, we're mindful of how we're moving. One of the key things is how we move. And that's what we refine with the classes. That's why people come back and back, because there's always something that they'll learn. There's something small they may pick up. And obviously, as you said, you've got the benefit of all practicing together. So we build the energy together because we do it in a circle. And it's just that place where you specifically are there to basically let all the thoughts go, let all the stresses go, anything that's going on, and just be mindful and practice your Tai Chi Che in the group. And I think it's the group thing as well, is that it builds the energy, and you're all there for one purpose, which is to do your practice.
Of course, a lot of people will think, this mindfulness is just another keyword come from America or somewhere.
Yeah.
Really means nothing at all. You can't. Some people find it difficult to clear their mind. They if you say to them, just relax and clear, they can't. The minute you tell them to relax and they're thinking about it, they're doing it. They can't just get on and clear their mind of any thoughts and just. And I had a hypnotherapist once who helped me to pack up smoking, and I was a serious smoker. I was smoking 20 cigars a day, and I went to him and I packed it up. And he taught me a little trick for when I'm travelling. If you're on long journeys, train journeys, plane journeys, or whatever, he taught me how to relax. And it's wonderful because the time goes by like nobody's business. You're up in the air and then you're down again, and in between you've lost it. You've just remained in a sort of meditative state, and it really does work. And if it can work for somebody like me who doubts everything he's ever told, I'm sure it can work for other people. But you just got to have an open mind initially.
Definitely, I think from what you're saying there, the key thing is experience. You doubt things until you experience it, and you've obviously found that the hypnotherapy worked for you, and that that state of feeling relaxed is really good. So I think it's the same with anything. There are lots of things that are out there for people to try to help them feel more relaxed and have that peace of mind and contentment. And that's what the beauty of life, isn't it? We've got this sort of rich selection of things we can do, and Tai Chi Che is one of these things, and it's good for some people, and for other people it's just not their bag. So the thing is very slow. So often I find that impatient people really could do with learning Tai Chi Che, but sometimes they're a little bit too impatient to actually get to the point where they're going to enjoy it and get the benefits. But I think people do find it hard to just sit and meditate. That is quite hard, but because you're moving, I think that appeals to another kind of set of people, so that they you feel as if you're doing something, but actually what you notice after a period of time is you actually are feeling very relaxed as well. So I think,
as I say, my wife swears by it. She swears by the fact that it works.
Yeah.
and she's probably as doubting as I am, but somebody talked her into going along, and she's been going along ever since.
Good. I
think. Now, talking of ever since, you've been in Selsey running these classes for several years, I believe.
Yes, I have, and we just seem to keep going. And there's a core group that of lovely people. We also have a token man as well who comes along, which is
a token man.
Yeah, we do have a token man. We could do with a few more token men.
Oh, right.
And they're always lovely, and sometimes people join the group and go, and then we to kind of build the tribe a bit, really. So the classes run on Monday afternoons from 4:30 to 5:30 at the Selsey Centre. The next one starts on Monday the 11th of April, so quite soon. And we learn the whole form. We gradually build up the movements over 10 weeks. And at the end of that, then students have learned 19 movements in this pose. And that's how it works. This set of classes will be slightly different because we've got bank holidays and we've got a few dates where I'm not around. But what I tend to do is once I've got students interested, they will be emailed a free set of student notes and then updated, and they'll have all the dates.
So that'll be their homework.
Yes. Well, we do try and give a little bit of homework. In fact, we it's quite funny within the group because we always think of different ways that we can try and motivate ourselves to practice, because the guy who devised Tai Chi Che was called Justin Stone, and he was quite a stickler as a teacher, and he did say that you do need to practice to get the benefits. It's like anything, and he said you cannot appease the hunger by reading the menu. So it's the same with anything, though.
Well, yeah, it's absolutely true, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to do it.
The reason you learn to do it is so that you can carry on doing it and doing it correctly and get the benefit from it. And surely the whole point of it is to enjoy what you've learned.
Yes.
And once you've learned it fully, you can go through the program, as it were. I don't know how long it takes to go through the 19 movements.
It's about 45 minutes.
45 minutes thereabouts.
But actually it's interesting because you don't have to do a whole practice. You could take some of your favourite movements that you really like, because I have some that I prefer to others myself. And if you just did 5-10 minutes practice a day, you would feel the benefits.
So you can actually cut out bits of it and do your own favourite bits. I know my wife does, but whether she was supposed to be doing it or not, I don't know. But she'd say, "Oh, this is pull the toffee" or something. And I said, "What?"
Yeah, there are some funny names.
There are some funny names about it. But she did used to practice it at home. She hasn't done for a few weeks because she's had a cataract operation, but so she couldn't do anything that was going to cause any pressure. No. But yes, some of the moves are not funny, but the names of them are certainly funny.
They are strange.
But when you actually look at it, you can relate to why it's called that. And then you think, well, who came up with that name? It's
what you have to remember as well is some of the names are a bit odd because Justin was in the States, so different things like, for instance, taffy in the States is a word for toffee, so that's where you get the slight difference.
Yeah, I thought she said pull the taffy. I was looking for a Welsh girl.
Yeah.
There you go. So now, I take it your classes are quite busy. Well, I know they are. But,
they are.
But you always have room for more people.
Yeah.
And so if people want to contact you, how do they do that? How do they get hold of you?
Okay. Well, I have a website which is lifeandbalance.org.uk, or you can phone me on 01243 514 909, or my mobile is 07941 520 964, or you can email me. That's tracy.gibbons@lifeandbalance.org.uk. So usually what happens is people would just give me a call and say, I've seen your advert or whatever, and then we'll have a chat about what their expectations are, whether it might be suitable. The thing with Tai Chi Che is that I would say it's suitable for all ages, and also everyone does it within their own capabilities. So I had a lady who was waiting for hip operation recently, and actually she did incredibly well, and I actually think that Tai Chi Che probably helped her with her mobility before her operation. I'm looking forward to her coming back to see how
she's doing quite well, I believe.
Yes, exactly. So that's good. So it's never going to be an Olympic sport. It's your own personal practice. So so the classes, as I say, it's 10 weeks. It costs £5 for a class if you pay for the 10, or if you want to be a bit more flexible, there is a drop-in price of £7 per class. So it just makes it fair for everyone and makes it a bit more flexible as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we can expect to see groups of people practicing their Tai Chi Che on the green.
Yeah,
down by the lifeboat station
fab.
or somewhere.
Or on the beach.
On the beach.
Yeah,
on
the
beach
would be lovely. We'll do that. I think we must do that.
Whether we'll see individuals stood on the top of the groins in a row, I don't know, but it'd be a sight worth seeing, certainly.
It would be, yes. Well, we do have a Christmas do as well sometimes, so that's always good fun. But yes, Tai Chi Che on the groins would be interesting.
It certainly would. Well, thanks very much for coming in, Tracy, and opening this secret society up.
Thank you. Hope to see some new people. It'd be lovely. Thank you for your time as well.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again soon, perhaps get an update on how things are going down there.
Yeah, that would be fab. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
And we've got the studio with us now, your quiz inquisitor, Kevin Noble. Now, what have you got for us this week, Kevin?
It's the connections quiz, as usual. 5 general knowledge questions, but what connects something in all of the answers? There we go. This week, question number 1. Which TV series of the 1980s was written by Alan Bleasdale, and the character Yosser Hughes had the catchphrase, "Giss a job"? What was the TV series? Number 2. Which 1960s pop group consisted of the members Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and the drummer Ginger Baker? What was the group called? Question number 3. Which 19th century actress, born in 1853, became the mistress of Edward VII? Who was she? Number 4, another TV question. Which TV series starred James Bolam, Dennis Waterman, and Alan Armstrong? What was the name of the programme? And number 5, which cheese spread is known in its native France as la vache qui rit? I'll spell that. It's LAVACHEQUIRIT, Lavash which cheese spread. So 5 questions, but what connects something in all the answers? That's this week's quiz.
Well, thanks for that, Kevin. I think I might actually know the answers for once. And of course, if you'd like to know the answers, you can tune in to next week's programme and the answers will be there available for you. Now, we haven't had a recipe for a few weeks, so I've got a couple of very simple chicken recipes for you. And the first one is chicken wraps. And this is what we need: 150ml of low-fat plain yoghurt, 1 tablespoonful of whole grain mustard, some pepper, 280 grams of cooked skinless boneless chicken breasts, and that needs to be diced, 140 grams of iceberg lettuce finely shredded, 85 grams of cucumber thinly sliced, 2 celery stalks sliced, 85 grams of black seedless grapes cut in half, and 8 20cm or 8-inch soft flour tortillas. And this is what we do. Combine the yoghurt and mustard in a bowl and season with the pepper, and stir in the chicken and toss until thoroughly coated. Put the lettuce, cucumber, celery and grapes into a separate bowl and mix well. Now fold a tortilla in half and half again to make a cone that's easy to hold. Half fill the tortilla pocket with the salad mixture and then top off with some of the chicken mixture, and repeat with the remaining tortillas, salad and chicken, and serve at once. Yeah, that's simple and very, very tasty. And the second recipe, once again a chicken recipe, is pan-fried chicken and coriander. And this is what we need for this. And this will serve 4 also, and we need 1 bunch of fresh coriander, 1 tablespoonful of corn oil, 4 skinless boneless chicken breasts, about 115 grams each, and trim off all the visible fat. We don't need a lot of fat on chicken, do you? 1 teaspoonful of corn flour, 1 tablespoonful of water, 90ml of low-fat plain yoghurt, 2 tablespoonsful of reduced fat light cream, 175ml of chicken stock, 2 tablespoonsful of lime juice, 2 garlic cloves finely chopped, 1 shallot finely chopped, 1 tomato peeled, de-seeded and chopped, and some salt and pepper. And this is what we do with this. Set aside a few coriander sprigs for garnish and coarsely chop the remainder. Now heat the corn oil in a heavy base frying pan, add the chicken and cook over a medium heat for 5 minutes on each side, or until the juices run clear when the meat's pierced with the tip of a sharp knife. Remove from the pan and keep warm. Mix the corn flour and water until smooth, stir in the yoghurt and cream. Pour the chicken stock and lime juice into the frying pan and add the garlic and shallot. Reduce the heat and simmer for about a minute. Stir the tomato into the yoghurt mixture and stir the mixture into the pan. Then season with salt and pepper and cook, stirring constantly for 1 to 2 minutes or until slightly thickened, but don't let the mixture boil. Now stir in the chopped fresh coriander, place the chicken on a large serving plate, pour the sauce over the top of it and garnish with the reserved coriander sprigs, and serve it straight away. Sounds rather tasty, doesn't it? Very, very nice, that. With me now I've got Mike Nicholls, and Mike's going to be giving us a bit of an update on the proposed cycle path. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, Keith. Nice to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. For many years there have been folk in Selsey who've been interested in promoting cycling and developing cycle routes across the Manhood Peninsula. For many years work was done on a leisure route on the east side of the peninsula, and much of that is now in place from North Mundham down to the Pagham Harbour Nature Reserve, known as Route 88, and quite a lot of folk use it. It's about 12.5 miles into Chichester, and there are steps being taken to try and make sure that it gets completed right down to the Medbury realignment. But in addition to that, there have been thoughts for a while that there could be benefit in a direct commuter cycle route between Selsey and Chichester. It could be advantageous for safety reasons, because cycling up the B2145, particularly in the rush hour, can be a precarious proposition. It can be dangerous for cyclists, but also frustrating for motorists and so on a narrow road. But there are also immense health and tourist and business and economic benefits in looking at a cycle route that would be very little longer than the road, and so would be attractive for a whole lot of people. So for a while there's been a working group of the Selsey Community Forum looking at that proposition, and we've actually now allocated a prospective route which runs up the west side of the road, as close to the road as possible, apart from a little dogleg in Sidlesham where you have to go round a fairly narrow part, and that gives 2 points of access into Chichester and has the potential to link up with other cycle paths coming in from Bognor and from Emsworth, as well as the Saltons Way on the west side of the peninsula. And I just really wanted to share with folk how far that project had got and where we hope it will go. So that's the brief for today.
Johnny Good. Well, I do know I did work at Tangmere up until September last year, and we had a chap there who used to ride from Selsey every day to Tangmere, and I said to him, well, there is a cycle path from Pagham Harbour up to Huntston at least, and he said, yeah, but you can't ride a proper bicycle on it. And some of these guys spend fortunes. They spend more on a bicycle than I would spend on a car.
Yep.
And so I can understand that they don't want to take a chance on wrecking them. So a proper cycle path
Yep.
would be most welcome. And I have to say that anybody that rides a bicycle between Selsey and Chichester taking their life in their hands deserves to be mentioned in dispatches, because it is so fraught with danger.
Sure.
And you know, you must be frightened to death when you get a juggernaut stuck behind you.
I think that underlines the good reasons why a route is needed. So let me just tell you where we've got to with the project. Stage one has really been to raise money to commission a feasibility study to know whether it's practical. That study is on the point of being completed by the cycling charity Sustrans, and the answer to the question is yes, it is a practical and doable project. Stage two that we are entering is really to do a number of practical tasks that I'd like to outline in a moment. That will lead to us seeking to raise about £100,000 to commission professionals to do a detailed design and construction project. And then we get to a point where we have to hand it over to the county council and say, guys, we think this is a wonderful scheme and we'd like you to spend £2 million in getting it done. Obviously, it goes into a whole mix of things that the highways budget is used for, but we think there is a strong case. Now, just at the moment, we're looking to do a number of things that are about advocating the route and the project, really to say to the community, look, we think this is a good idea, but we'd like your views and your support and your encouragement for this. So we want to try and design a good website to be able to say to everybody, look, if you want information, this is where to go. It's not lacking at the moment. You can go to the Selsey Information Exchange website, /cycling, and find documents that will update you. But we'd actually like to build a separate website that gives far more detail. So we'd like to see whether out in the community there are good website designers that might be prepared to give us a bit of time and a bit of talent in order to do that. We've got to engage with landowners along the route. One or two of them have already said, yeah, we're very happy to get on board with this. But there is detailed work to be done that we have to do to try and see whether landowners will consider this possibility before, again, we hand the legalities over to the county council, and we could do with 1 or 2 people who would be willing to work with us to invest in doing that little bit of the project. We think we'd like to organise a conference in Selsey to which people could be invited to consider this proposal and to be part of a consultation. I can see
there's going to be some very difficult to answer questions, because
there are, but
people will moan about cyclists on the B2145.
Yep.
Oh, I'm always stuck behind a cyclist. You know, the worst case scenario, and it's actually happened to me was a milk float stuck behind a cyclist with a tractor behind the milk float and me behind that.
Yeah.
So, and people will say, when they're stuck behind a cyclist and there's a bit of a queue of traffic, well, why don't they build a cycle path? Well, now they know what's involved cost-wise, they might change their mind. So it'll be interesting to get, and very necessary, I think, to get people's opinion.
Yeah, I think that clearly if something like this is going to get off the ground, you need widespread support. So we're trying to enter into a period of consultation. And in order to get these things done properly, we just need at this point to recruit a few more volunteers who are willing to give a bit of time in order to help us. It will be a short-term commitment. We anticipate all of these things needing to be done within the next 3 or 4 months. We want to get to a point where we can begin to put together a planning application, for instance, to see whether outline planning would be given for such a project. We want to explore what surface we might use, because it would be good to have a tarmac route that is good for all cyclists, but we want to take into account our equine community and so on, and walkers. And so there are lots of things that we'd like to talk to people about in the spirit of saying, this seems a good project, we'd like to know what you feel. So my main point in doing this broadcast is to say 2 things. One, please be aware there's a project and this is how far it's got. Secondly, we'd like to enlist a little bit of extra help in progressing it. So if you feel that you could help, you could pop into the Sales Information Exchange in Penny Lane. You could drop an email at info@salestheinfo.co.uk, or you could give me a ring on 07508 716 037, and we'd be very happy to hear from you.
Well, let's hope the people actually get interested in it, because there've got to be cyclists out there that say it's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
There are others out there going to have a different argument, of course, and we'd like to hear from those as well.
Indeed.
We would at Manhood Internet Radio would like to hear from those.
Indeed.
And you can do that by emailing us at manhoodinternetradio@gmail.com. So we'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Well, thanks for coming in and updating us, Mike. We like to keep abreast of what's going on, and especially with contentious issues. And we'll come round again and see if we can get a further update in a few weeks' time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, and that's about it for this week. But before we go, we'll have a look at the weather for the coming week. And Monday, well, Monday's going to be a few rain showers with a temperature of 12 degrees and a minimum temperature of 6. Tuesday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a temperature of 13 degrees, but a low temperature of 4. Wednesday, 13 degrees, partly sunny, low temperature of 7. Thursday, 14 degrees, mostly cloudy, low temperature of 9 degrees. Friday, well, light rain on Friday, unfortunately. Maximum temperature 13 degrees, minimum temperature of 5 degrees. Saturday, mostly cloudy, 11 degrees. And the Sunday, the 17th, partly sunny and a 12 degrees. And that's it for this week. Just leaves me to say thank you to our guests, Tracy Gibbons, and to Mike Nicholls, and to Kevin Noble, our quizmaster, to our producer, John Fletcher, and from me, Keith Barnes, saying thanks for joining us, and see you again next week. Bye-bye for now.